heart, but it's far away from home.
Things are personal. I don't want people to know about what I'm writing.
Hello, hello. So today I'm so happy to have this person here. She's an artist and she's pursuing her dreams and she's using her English. For that reason, it's my pleasure to have you here, Mariona Luque, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Lynda. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm glad. So it's very special because usually we think like young people, everything is easy for them. And it's like sometimes we forget that we were in that stage, in that age. So I want to talk first about your background, your personal experience. So can you tell me a little bit about your English journey? How did you learn and what motivates you to keep going with your English?
Yeah, we live in a little town in the outskirts of a big city, and there's not great level of English in schools. So I grew up not knowing much English. Actually, I had a very bad level of English. I had to work a lot. But then I moved schools because of some issues, and that school the second school I went, the English was really good. Like they had a really good level of English there, and I couldn't catch up with any of my mates. So I had to put a lot of effort, and still it was hard because I was so behind, and it was so hard for me, and I was struggling a lot. I hated going to an English class because it made me feel useless because I didn't know how to defend myself.
In the first school that you went, you knew that your English was not too good, or you only figure out when you moved to the other school?
That school, the first school I went to, it's called San Martín. The English level was really low. Mine was average there. I mean, I wasn't bad there. I've always had like, I don't know, B level. So I'm not a bad student, let's say it like this. And I wasn't in English either. But when I changed schools, it was like, what? Like I only knew colors and numbers and animals, and then they were doing like verb tenses, and I was like, okay, I missed some steps. What are they doing? What is that?
So that means like you really figured that you were very low in the other school when you start being with advanced students or with people that or students that they were really learning a little more advanced. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
I didn't know if it was because they were advanced or my school was was really behind. But yeah, the fact was that when I went into an English class, I didn't understand half of what they were saying. It was hard for me to keep up with the teacher, keep up with homework, keep up with exams.
When you moved, how old were you? In what grade?
I was 9 years old, 5th grade, something like that.
And the difference between both schools were the intensity, like in the first school you have one class per day in English, in the second one was more than that, or what was?
I think well, they certainly do more hours they did more hours in the second school, but I think the main thing that changed the ways they were learning, it's in the first school I was just trying to learn vocabulary, and with the stories it was more of like a game to us. We didn't have exams. I don't remember quite a lot of exams. And it was so chill. And I mean, it's great. It's a great way to learn English, like going through stories and songs and stuff. But when you're getting old, you have to start learning verb tenses and stuff. It gets harder. So yeah, we were doing that stuff.
I love that part, that when you're getting old, okay. And at that point, she was probably, when she was getting old, she was in 12, yes? 12 years old. Okay.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that I don't know. It was like I learned vocabulary. I remember knowing lots of words because we were doing by unity. I don't know how to say it, but like parts. We had one story, and then we learned some vocabulary, and the other month one other story, some other vocabulary. We
Okay.
didn't actually use it. We didn't speak either. They didn't make us speak in English, which I think was really bad because we weren't able to
And
like.
probably that was the difference with the second school.
I remember like lots of different ways of learning. I remember videos. I remember talking. I remember singing, but I also remember doing my own videos and recording them, and making stories. It was super hard for me because I didn't know anything that I was saying. It was hard for me to like do a video talking in English. But yeah, they made us learn through a lot of different ways, which I think made us like a little bit better because everyone could hold on to what was working better for them. It made me better, but I still was so behind that time.
Okay, so when you start figuring that your English was good and you can speak, because your English is very good, so you're very fluent in English.
Thank you. So I think it was around fourth of SO, which is first of high school, like
Okay,
sophomore
8th
year,
grade or yes. Okay.
that I started loving the theater musical industry, and wow, it was a change for me. It started being my thing. I started looking, I started going to lots of plays and looking at interviews, and I actually figured out that I couldn't do that stuff without knowing English, without being able to understand the interviews, to look up things, to, for example, I don't know, go to see a play. I would have loved to see a play. If I would, I mean, I remember we went to London one time, and I remember not being able to see a play because we didn't know English. I loved the Broadway world. I fell in love with a musical called Spring Awakening. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Okay, yes. Okay.
I fell in love with that musical, and I just wanted to know more and more and look up Instagrams, look up interviews. Then I found Dear Evan Hansen, which is another musical that I loved, and then Wicked, and then Hamilton, which was like, what? I don't understand anything because it's rapping and so fast. So I had to learn English because I didn't want to be, I wanted to understand that because I knew that I wanted to be there someday.
And that means like you start going outside of the class to learn your English.
Well,
to support your English.
I started singing that time.
Okay.
I started doing singing classes. And at first I sung in Catalan, but then I switched to English, and I had to learn the words. I had to learn the words and how to pronounce them. And it doesn't ring the same if you pronounce them, I don't know, with a British accent or with an American accent. So I had to learn the words with an American accent and be able to, I don't know, pull it up. So that was the thing. And then I also was watching, do you know the Glee series? Glee?
No.
Glee is a really popular series about a group of high school students that they have a choir and they do competitions and stuff. And it was so Broadway
That's
related.
from United States also?
Yeah, from United States. And I remember I said, okay, I want to get there. I'm starting to sing in English. I'm starting to put myself in the world. How about watching it without the double? How about watching it in English? And it was the first series I started watching whole English.
That's good. And I'm sure that that's helped you like improve your English very fast.
Yeah, I have a really good memory, like listening memory. So I could understand the words, I could get them. I started with subtitles in Spanish, but I quickly shift to English subtitles. And wow, it was powerful for me to understand what they were saying. It was like, okay, I can understand that. I know what they mean. I started learning slang because for me, it's really important to learn slang. I think it's something that they don't teach in schools, but then if you are watching a series, you hear lots of slang, and it's like, okay, what are they saying actually? So yeah.
Wow. You know, something that you are saying right now that everybody can see you, it's first, She has passion. You can see every time that she speaks. So when she speaks about the movies and the series and the English and the words and the slang, so you see her passion. And also you have something that I can figure that I like, and it's you spend time. You spend time doing this. You focus on this, and that's something really important to achieve any goal, even so, especially for English or for learning a language. And the third thing that you are putting there, it was the curiosity. You want to know more, you want to explore more. And I think that's a little different than you start learning English as an adult. Because sometimes I think we forget that part. So I love this. So tell me a little bit more. So once you start learning, you start singing in English, that it's sometimes
Yes.
in the beginning, especially, is very difficult. Yes.
Yes.
It's not easy because our muscles are different.
I remember singing in English and inventing the words like what, and doing like this and not knowing any of the words, but like knowing the sound.
Oh my
So-
goodness, Mariona, you are giving another tip. And that's the first, when I start loving English, always I said, one day I'm going to start speaking. I thought that was speak English. And do you see, she's doing exactly the same, but singing. I love it. Yeah,
I mean,
that's a perfect thing.
I think even people who doesn't understand English, they see the tone. It's easier to pick up when you see the tone, and then you have to do a song, and it's like, okay, it's just to put that tone. And it was hard for me because all my friends had a really good level of English. One of my best friends is Irish, so he has a great level of English. And I don't want to say that they undermined me, but they kind of did. And I felt like I couldn't catch up, and even if I tried, it wasn't enough. So I started like putting English in my personal life, and at school I tried to do my best, but I wasn't able. I didn't have enough confidence to say, okay, yeah, I'm learning English, and I know I'm not the greatest here, but I'm going to try. But then something happened, because I signed up for an Erasmus experience, and there was a Hungarian girl coming to my house, and I couldn't talk in Spanish or Catalan because that would have been weird, and she wouldn't understand a single word I would say. So I had to talk in English for a whole week with. It was a whole Erasmus, but lots of people came from Italy, from Portugal, from Hungary, and from Belgium. So I talked with every one of them, and I don't know, it started like this, and then it was easier, and I wasn't thinking, I was just speaking, I was thinking in English.
Could be because you were more interested to communicate to them besides to try to be understand or try to be perfect.
I think that might have a little bit, yeah. There's also the thing that none of my friends were there, so I was the only one who signed up for the Erasmus. But yeah, I think that is it, because it was I needed to talk to them. We were doing stuff, we were going places, and it was like, okay, no, that time at that place, and if I wanted to know something about someone, I just told them. And people told me, oh my God, you have a great English. And I was like, no, what? No one has ever told me that. And it was like, okay, maybe I'm starting to have
You're
a
right.
good English. maybe I can start thinking about myself as a person who knows English and who can talk in English freely. And wow, that
okay,
was
and you
powerful.
start writing songs also, and in English.
The thing is, I've always loved to write, and I got a ukulele and started writing songs. Well, I started writing songs way before that. I started writing songs with them when I was 10 years old, but I started writing songs more seriously in sophomore year, and it's when I got the ukulele, and it was like, these things are personal. I don't want people to know about what I'm writing. I don't want my mother to know about what I'm writing. Okay. So I'm going to write it in English. so no one can understand what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful story. Yeah, for that reason, if they don't speak English, they are not going to go into my papers. So that's good. What was the strategy behind to get to the right composition, to the right structure? Because English is different than Catalan or Spanish. So what about that?
I looked up some things on the translator, but I wasn't. I'm not quite sure all of my songs are well written. Like I think there are lots of mistakes in the first one. There are lots of mistakes.
Yeah, but that's the same in
It was
English. The
okay.
people in English do the same. Yeah, but I was curious is because sometimes because it's not your first language, you try to need to make sense, and sometimes, especially in the beginning when we are learning, sometimes we feel like makes sense, but in reality it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I think that happened. I've had this confidence in myself that I was good at music, but I didn't even want to show it to anyone. Like my music has been a private thing, a really, really private thing for a long time. And I mean, my mom and my dad knew about it, but anyone else knew about it because I was so shy. I didn't know if I was good enough. I had a thing. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm good. I like that, but it was like, okay, what if other people doesn't like that? Okay, no, then it's better if I just live it for myself. So that's the thing. I told my mom that I admire her for starting things before being ready, because I waited till I was ready to start posting things, to start talking in English. And I admire the having enough confidence to be able to just put yourself out there and let's see what happens.
In your perspective,
Yeah.
do you really think like for young people it's easier to learn English or to learn a language rather than the adults? What do you think?
I think the key to learn a language is passion and routine and like hard work. And I think anyone of any age can have that. You can focus your passion on something. For example, I focus passion on being on Broadway someday and doing my music. You can also focus passion on, I don't know, being able to travel other places and understanding people, or I don't know, or doing a book, writing a book in English. Like I think there's a motor gets you up and running, and it doesn't matter what it is, but there has to be something. And as long as you have that and you are hardworking, I think you have everything you need to learn English, and it doesn't matter the age.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Yes, you're right. What do you think are the differences between your process and your mother process?
Wow. My process was out of, well, it was passion, but there was also necessity, and it was so personal. So for me, when I actually sometimes I find myself in my room like, okay, I have to put that there, but not, and I'm talking in English with myself, and I'm like, this is not my first language, but I'm talking in English with myself because English has always been about myself. And my mother, from the first moment, she has shared her English with everyone else. She has showed her English. I think our processes are very different. Mine is more intimate, hers is more out to the world. And I think both processes are really amazing. I admire her so much on how on 1 year she has been able to do all that improving. I mean, it's amazing.
People think like because they were bad with their teacher in class long time ago, that will mean that now everything will be the same. So if you can give a teacher a suggestion, an advice, what will be your advice?
To adapt the English to their hobbies and passions, and to encourage everyone, even the little guy who's behind, who you see no future, to encourage him, because I see sometimes there's just like, okay, they are doing great, but no, there's lots of people who are not doing great, and we don't need to forget about them. So to
Yeah.
make them wiser, to
Yeah.
tell them that they know more than they think they know.
Yeah, and that's the big difference. So I have another question. Do you think you have a different personality in English and different personality in your main language
Well, I do,
when
of
you speak?
course. Of
You do?
course. It's, for example, it doesn't have to be so far. In Catalonia, and lots of people, like, I don't know, people who met me before I knew English, they know me as Mariona. But from the point I started learning English and I started having confidence on, they know me as Mary. I got bullied a lot in school when I was younger, and lots of things were said to me, and I kind of believed them. And the name Mariona was was attached to many things that I wasn't feeling like I was those things. And when people called my name, I felt those things, and I didn't like it. So I have it's not a new personality, it's maybe an alter ego. It's the person that gets me going. Mary is the one that my friends know me as Mary, and is the one who is my artistic name. It's La Mary Wave. But yeah, there's like, I don't know, it's a powerful one, and Mariona is still inside me, and there's no problem with it. I love her, and I want to know that she's safe, she's okay, she's loved, and no one is going to say anything bad to her because I'm here for her. But Mary is the one that comes out the most because it's the one that I need the most, and the one with whom I feel more comfortable with. She's powerful, and she's fearless, and she tries, and she hard works, and she's crazy. Well, Mariona is crazy as well. Well, no comment, but yeah. The thing
Wow.
is, I don't know. And I'm more easygoing as a Mary. Also, it's more focused on my career and what I want to do. Like, Mary is the one who's going. Well, Mary, Mariona, and everyone in each of my personalities. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I believe like it's difficult. It's part of our life. We have many pains, but thanks that you have all the pain that you went through. So Mary, it's evolving, but that doesn't mean like Mariona, it's there and it was the person that was bullied. That means like that was the evolution. So Mariona needs some power, something to help her to come. It's like when you jump in a jumping, so you just you sometimes you need to go to the deeper place and then just launch. And that's life, and it's beautiful.
My best friend tells me that with an arrow, but it's just the same.
Yes, exactly the same. You first go back, and once you don't have more space, turn. So wow, that's beautiful.
I think I need both of them.
You still scared about what other people think?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, of course, and it's totally normal. So don't worry.
I struggle with this every day, and it's hard for me to say, okay, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter. They are not me. They don't define myself. But yeah, it's not so much about strange people, but about my friends. What would they think? And I know that if I would post something, I would be like, okay, no, but you don't have to hear it. No, I know it's bad, but I know it's just for me, you know. And maybe I wouldn't be thinking that, but I would be saying it because it's my way to protect myself if it's failure.
I have a question for you. Are you scared of your closest friends, or are you scared with the people that know you? So one thing, it's my friends, the people that support me, that are always with me, that they say, yes, go do it. And sometimes they laugh because I did something fun, and they laugh and everybody laughs. It's what kind of, are you scared of what kind of people?
I think I would say I have lots of friends, but I would just feel comfortable with a few of them, with the closest ones, like letting them know about my music. Some like my closest friends know about my music and have heard my music and they like it. So yeah, I
Okay.
think it's more of the far friends, the people, but it doesn't make sense actually, because it's like, okay, I know they maybe don't care about me. It's not like they are a big part of my life either.
Probably could be because it's popularity. Sometimes we think like our popularity is going to be hurt our ego, because of course if someone said something wrong about me, even if they are wrong because they don't know me, they really don't know the process, they really don't know what I'm doing, but I do care about them. So probably it's because of that.
When I got bullied because of my looks. I used to have parche and glasses, and I had my hair all messy. Well, I have it messy now, but now I have it because I want to. And I got called lots of names. I got and it wasn't like they were aggressive. It was more of like something. It was already on the air. Everyone knew I was ugly. Everyone knew that. There was nothing else. So I actually believed that. That became my truth. So it's hard for me to put things out there because it makes me vulnerable, and I had to learn not to be vulnerable in order to succeed, in order to have a life and to be myself without having to worry about them. So it puts me in a very vulnerable place. And the thing is, when I'm in that place, I think I feel alone, and I feel like there's no one up there to understand me. I feel like everyone who knew me actually would leave me alone. I don't feel that now. I used to feel that. Well, sometimes I do.
That's normal.
I don't know. I think it's more about I don't want to feel alone. I want to be enough for them when I'm not enough. When I'm not trying to be enough for me, but I'm actually now enough for me. So I don't know. It's
Of
really
course, that's
hard.
life. That's
about.
life. That's life, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that you are speaking about this, because you are touching some important points of everybody. Everybody is the same. Everybody has the same fear about not the closest one, about the people that are with a little distance of us. Why? Because we really want to look good. Something that I heard, and I like to think about that, is sometimes I have a scar here, so probably it's open, and I feel the pain here. But if nobody touch it, it's fine. But once someone come and just stick their hand or put something, at that point I start feeling again the pain. But it's not because the person just dig on my scarf. It's just because I have the scar. And sometimes instead of said, hey, wait a minute, you are touching a really, so you're saying something that is very mean for me, and that hurts. So sometimes we just go, and people don't know what we really feel. And of course, we don't need to tell everybody what we feel, but something that you are doing now in your songs is that. And why I heard one of her songs, and yes, she wants love. And she wild said like she wants love, and that's nice. Everybody wants love.
It was more about that I want to find security. I didn't want people to know about what I'm writing. The thing is, I think those kids were like this because they didn't have any emotional therapy or stuff. There's not emotional education at school. I think it's crazy, because then how are kids going to know what's good, what's not? How are kids going to be able to I don't know, to process things and to know what's maybe if you're hitting someone, it's not because you're mad at him, it's because you're mad at yourself, or because you're sad and you don't know how to take that. So I think it's really important to have emotional education at school, that would solve lots of problems, that would actually lower the case of bullying a lot. And still nothing.
Yes, absolutely. And you are so lucky also because you found your passion. You found a way that to start spreading. I love, you said alone. You don't want to feel alone. And at the same time, when you don't want to feel alone, you want to be alone.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't want to be alone, but I think I'm never alone because I have myself, and that's enough. And I want to believe that. And I think the moment I start believing that, for sure, like, okay, no more, and then I'll be able to publish, like, get out everything, because it will be like, okay, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks as long as I'm okay with it. But in the world I'm trying to get in, sometimes your opinion is not enough. You're casting and they are like, okay, you've been great, we'll call you, and you never receive a call.
But that's life, and that's the way that we learn, because remember, and that's the power of competition. That's the power of be around of good people. We always need to be around good people. And if you go to a cast and you go and in the cast you see 200 people, that's better, because you are going to push yourself to be better.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the coin has two sides. Yes, we always need to see both, because sometimes you just take, oh my goodness, they told me this and they didn't call me and I was not good enough. Yes, you were very good. The problem is, like, probably some people where they work harder.
Actually, when I'm in an audience, I feel so safe. That's weird, but I feel so safe. I love to get out in an audience and say, here I am, I'm going to sing, you're going to like it. And I like doing, I mean, when I'm face to face, when I see the people and I'm like, okay, I'm here, nothing stops me. I've never flunked.
You know what happened? That first, you are there to connect through your heart. You don't put more barriers. You are doing things that you love, that you know, that you are good for that. And you are good not because because you prepare yourself, but also because you are putting all your heart there. And the world is more benevolent than the world that we think it is. So one thing is what we create in our head, and another thing is what we have. When you are on the stage, you see people that they are just watching you without any judge. They just want to listen, and they connect to you because you're speaking about in your lyrics, in your music, you are speaking about their regular life, because everybody has the same problems, everybody has the same achievement, everybody wants the same thing.
I also think in the business I'm going to get into, you gotta roll with the punches. There was a video of Elton John singing in a cafe, and the subtitle said, if this video of Elton John is able to receive hate comments, and it's Elton John, how can you not receive hate comments? I mean, not everyone is going to like you, and that's actually okay, because if everyone likes you, maybe no one likes you like passionate. You have to say something, you have to stand for yourself, and sometimes doing that means that other people won't like it. And this interview is making me, wow, I mean, I'm saying things out loud I've never said, and
that's beautiful.
I'm feeling powerful. Wow.
That's beautiful, Mariona. I'm so happy about this. So yeah, you're doing a great job, and the conversation that we have is very emotional. I hope like everybody can feel that when they watch, because for me it's very, very special. Even if you are young, even if you have the thing that we are missing. Some of the adults are missing that part, the passion, I'm going there. Yes, I know that it's hard, that it sometimes is I'm going to be hurt, but I have first myself, and second, I know that my parents are here for me, and that's powerful. That's wow.
and the passions beats the fear.
Absolutely.
If once you know that what you're doing is not for yourself, it doesn't have to be for anyone else, as long as you're okay with it.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. What do you think about the languages? So I heard like English will be the global, or it's the most important language in the world, and we are losing some of the other languages. So what do you think about this? What do you think about the power of the English, or compare with the other languages?
My God, I think English is a really nice language, and I'm really happy I know English, and I think everyone should know English. And as much as I defend that, I think languages are really powerful. They're really beautiful. They are they I don't know. They are the culture. They are, yeah. I mean, these last few weeks I've been helping out as a volunteer in a summer camp for immigrants. Yeah, we could say it like that. And disadvantaged kids. Some of them were born in Barcelona, and some of them immigrated. And there were people talking in Pakistani, and they told me they wrote my name in my wrist in Pakistani, and it was like, wow, it's so rich that there's lots of cultures. It's amazing to know as much as you can in languages, and I don't know. I think every language has their beauty, and it's not. There's some words, for example, in Catalan that I'm not able to translate, and I wouldn't, and they stay that way because they are beautiful that way. And I think every language is beautiful, and we should learn as much as we can, and we should be open to learning and be open to, I don't know, I think sometimes we close the door on other, I don't know, cultures or languages, or cultures, languages, people, and we can learn from everyone and everything, and in the remotest place we can learn something that we might just have as a motto for life. So yeah, I think languages are powerful, and we should learn as much as we can.
Do you speak another language?
I speak Catalan, Spanish, English, and I started German a lot of years ago, but my mother is already laughing because my level of German is really bad. I've been focused on other things, but I would love to learn other languages. I would be so open.
Yeah, German, it's beautiful. It's a little more complicated, I think so, but that's beautiful. And yeah, well, that's good. Okay, can we expect like you can write songs also in Spanish?
Spanish is not a language I like it. I don't have the greatest Spanish, but I do write songs in Spanish sometimes, because I think when you change the language, you change the vibe.
You gave us pretty wise words from a pretty young lady, and I love that. I love this interview, Mariona. Thank you very much for being here. No, before I leave, do you have your ukulele? Can you play a little bit? Yeah. I love this. So now I really want to listen to you. Wow, my goodness.
I'm going to perform a song that I wrote a month ago.
What's the name of the song?
It's Partner in Crime.
Okay.
Now I hear they laughing hard, but it's far away from home. To complain, never return. So much for forevermore. So break my heart once and for all. 'Cause I cannot take this anymore. Make me forget the things we did. Just make a clean break. 'Cause fading is worse than going away. Many crazies, many things, many craziness, and still seems things to be enough to hold our beautiful friendship. But if you do,
Wow. Wow,
Thank you very
Mariona,
much.
was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. And I wish you the best. And I'm sure that you are going to have many followers.
Very much, Lynda. It has been wow. It has been a really powerful interview. I've loved every second of it. I've loved to be able to tell you my experience, and if I've helped anyone out there, well, I mean, I think it's important to talk about vulnerability and about loneliness, because there are things that, as you said, everyone feels that, and there's not much representation. There's not much people talking about it. You see Instagram and everyone seems happy and everyone seems like they're having the time of their lives, when sometimes they don't. So it's great to talk about that. So thank you very much.
Great. Hope you enjoyed this interview. It was very vulnerable. Here we see a human being on the other side, and that's what English is doing. You can just go and meet many people and learn about their experiences and learn about them and their culture, just because you learn English, because you know English. Just jump and do it, and that's it.